This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. And the Cavaliers by 3. Puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound tip taken by Spades. Final seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions. Cleveland's long sports nightmare has ended. The drought is over.
I put my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears for this game, and Cleveland, this is for you. Oh.
Literal goosebumps right now after reliving those great memories from 5 years ago. You know, sometimes time can feel like it's moving in slow motion or like it's at a standstill, like me at work earlier today. And other times it feels like, where did all the time go? 5 years ago today. And yes, we are recording this show on Saturday on this Father's Day edition of the Voice of the Land. But 5 years ago this weekend, the Cavs won the first championship in 52 years in the city of Cleveland. And they became the first and only team in NBA history to come back from a 3-1 deficit against the Golden State Warriors to win the NBA championship. We will forever be in the history books as the first, right now the only. I'm sure another team somewhere down the line will match that feat, but no one can ever take away that the Cavs were the first ones. And with that, we do welcome you to another edition, this special Father's Day edition of the Voice of the Land here on the Big Play Network and partnered with LPV Productions. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Arnold. Alongside me, as always, my brother, Nick Paulus, and our producer extraordinaire behind the proverbial glass, Peter Tellup. We are sponsored by Vector Technical, the right person, the right place, the right person, the right job, the first time. And of course, DP Construction LLC. Reach out to them for all your concrete construction needs. Either reach out by email, tylerlafrada@gmail.com, or by phone, 330-217-4999. That is 330-217-4999. And it is a celebratory Father's Day edition. Happy Father's Day to all those celebrating, all the father figures, grandfathers, godfathers, whatever.
Happy Father's Day, Pete.
Happy Father's Day to our very own Peter Tellup, of course. And we are this show, while seen live, or you may see in your screen right now that it is live. We are recording this on Saturday, June 19th, in honor of Father's Day, in order to give people like Peter, and who does great work on the show. Can't do the show without him. Has taken us to new heights on the Voice of the Land. Want to honor him and give him the day he deserves as part of Father's Day. So, of course, we are recording on the actual 5-year anniversary. If you're watching this, listening to this, you're listening on the 5-year, 1 day, 2 day, etc. anniversary of the Cavs championship, whether here on our Twitter page at VTL_pod. Make sure you hit the follow button there. Of course, also on our Facebook page at Voice of the Land. You also may find us on the Big Play Facebook page, Big Play Live on YouTube, and across all those platforms, or tune into the audio every single week if you want to listen back and not have to look at our faces. That is, of course, on Google, Spotify, Apple, any podcast platform you can think of. We should be on there. If you think of one we're not, let us know, and we'll try to see what we can do to get it on there. We are going to talk some Browns, Indians, maybe college football playoffs, some happenings in that realm. And there's some movie talk that you guys did last week that I got a bone to pick with you guys from last week. We'll get into that. We'll have some fun at the end of the show, but we're going to have some fun to start the show as well. And I got to ask right off the top, and feel free to chime in. Feel free to send us at Kevin7, at CLE_Paulus, at LPV Productions, because we won't see your comments live during the show tonight. Again, recorded, not live. But send us your memories. But I got to ask you guys, and I'm going to start with you, Paulus, right across the table. Memories of that night. Where were you? because we're all always going to remember where we were and what happened that night when
Right.
the Cavs hoisted the Larry O'Brien trophy and ended that drought.
So that weekend was my sister's wedding.
Mhm.
Literally the day before it was her wedding. So happy anniversary, Sarah and Mitch. And I remember going over to my dad's because it was Father's Day
Mhm.
there for us, and everyone was, all over there hanging out for the good portion of the day. But the game started at 7 or 8 o'clock that night,
think it was-
prime time.
I think it was 8 o'clock. The
Ye-
Sunday games were 8 p.m. and then the weekday games 9. Oh,
Right. Yeah, crazy
rough.
times there for us. But I remember everyone was sort of filtering out. My dad was like, "Are you going to go downtown?" Literally all my buddies were downtown. And this is before ESPN. This is before everything. So I was like, you know what? I thought about it, but I really want to, because I was hellbent. I was like, we're winning this damn game. I said we were winning this game the moment we won game 5. I was like, doesn't matter. We're winning. I don't care. I feel great about it. We're good to go.
What did Clay say?
Yeah. What
In the Undertaker shirt?
What a great post game
Oh.
presser there for it. But anyway, so I was over at my dad's. My brother-in-law Vince, shout out Vince, he was there as well. That's actually the day he asked my dad, if he could marry my other sister,
Oh.
Karen. And
Big day for Vince.
literally the day or minutes before tip off, he asked my dad. My dad was like, "Yeah, sure, I don't care. Let's watch the game."
The perfect
honestly,
time.
the perfect time. Now they had been together for 10 years
Right.
before, so it was a given.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Why
but-
didn't you do this before?
right.
Been listening to my daughter talk about this forever.
exactly. But so we're there, we're all hanging out. It's just the three of us, and Vince's son, my nephew Blake, is there as well. But he's a little bit younger, so he had to go to bed. But right around the fourth quarter, as soon as the block happened, we're going crazy. We're going nuts. I'm like, wake up, Blake. Wake up, Blake. He needs to be out here. Blake didn't wake up, unfortunately. But the moment it all happened, as soon as, the clocks hit, 000, everything got crazy. My dad and I, we hugged each other. I've seen my dad cry a ton of times before. He's a very emotional guy. Yeah. I kind of get it from him every once in a while, but I've never seen him cry that hard before. And it was one of those moments where it was just it was that perfect moment. And then him and I, we went on out on the deck. We smoked a cigar, victory cigar there for us. We listened to 850, Tony Rizzo, Aaron Goldhammer, and Emmett were all live from San Francisco there, Oakland. But yeah, no, so we went crazy. We were listening to them for a minute, and it was just so much fun. I do remember, and I need to mention this because Kelly and I, we were dating a couple months into dating, and I called her up immediately. She was honestly the second call because I called Tyler first. But Tyler's my best friend, so I'm going to give him a
he's
call.
sponsor of the show. So,
He's the sponsor of the show. Yeah, obviously.
There's reasons why. We're finding
as
him out now.
As soon as I hang up with Tyler, I call up Kelly and I say, "Kelly, we are naming our child LeBron or Kyrie. I don't care, regardless of sex. It doesn't matter. We're naming." And she's like, "I don't think so. Can we name the dog that?" And she goes, "Yeah, we never named the dog that." But yeah, I wanted to name my dog Kyrie for the longest time. And then he leaves us, and then we do get a dog. And I was like, you know what? We're going to stick with Rue. I like Rue. So,
yeah, I like it.
Yeah. But that's my story. So,
Peter.
Oh, man. So, Debbie, we were at home. So, it was just me and Debbie. The boys were asleep. And the crazy thing is the year before when they lost, I think we were
lost in 6.
Yeah, we were in Florida. So, we were one of my sisters has a condo down there. We were staying down there, and Debbie and I were watching the games. And it was just so heartbreaking. So I think that 2016 we had gone to Portland, Maine.
Ooh,
and so
beautiful.
We had
been there.
We had gotten back. So we were watching the games while we're on vacation through the playoffs, and we're at home. The kids are asleep, and we're just edge of the seat.
Yeah.
The whole time. That block was just like you said, Nick. It's just your head explodes.
That was the moment.
Oh,
that was the moment I knew nothing could stop this team.
That rundown, just so freaking amazing. And we were just jumping up and down. And Jacob, why did he wake me up? So it's man, I go back and I still think of that, and it really is. Gives me goosebumps to watch those clips. And then at the time I worked right down the street from Progressive Field.
Mm-hmm.
So we were right downtown. So I went down to the parade, and that was just an awesome experience.
That was insane because I was working at CSU's rec center for their summer camp.
Yeah.
There and like we're there at 7:00 checking the kids in, and like people are walking past the building because they're parking far away.
Oh, yeah.
And they got their bag chairs over their back, and we ended up getting there just in time to the one spot, just walking straight down Chester to 9th Street there, and we were able to get a decent enough spot. Like I was able to see everything. LeBron didn't stand up in front of me. He stood up down the road from where my sister was at. She got a good picture.
Yeah,
it's fine. I copped that picture and I use it as if it's my own. So.
I was right there. Our office was on Sumner, just south of the cemetery. So we just walked down to the end of the street. So I was literally, as they came around the corner, there was maybe 2 people in front of me, between me and the players. It was just
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah, because it wasn't that packed right there.
Right.
And because everything was so packed further down, they kind of spent a little bit more time.
Yeah, they did.
Because they couldn't go anywhere. So
yeah, that was my only regret of having to work that day. Was like I can't get to I knew where the good spots were going to be, but you guys know what this championship meant to me. I mean, you can already maybe see the tears kind of coming to my eyes to remember this. And you talked about how you spent it with your father. I'll quickly just take it back to the end of Game 4. I was a groomsman for friends of mine. Was in high school with them, and they ended up getting married on, I think it was June 10th.
Okay.
And so it was Game 4, and I wasn't like partying at the reception or anything. Like I was in the bar area, like watching that game. And I felt so defeated, deflated that night. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to watch these games. I'm just going to seclude myself so that I can just kind of take it all in myself. No one has to deal with my sourness or anything. If that
just in case.
Yeah. So like the top room of the house I was living at the time, just corner by myself, laying on the couch. Like I'm watching, and LeBron and Kyrie go off for 41 points each.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, like I feel good about coming back to Cleveland. Like I know that they're going to put on a show no matter what happens at the end of the day with those fans, how ramped up Cleveland's going to be. And boy, did they put on a show. I mean, the over the back pass from JR to LeBron for that slam. LeBron just going crazy at the end of that series.
His mouthpiece.
Oh yeah, Steph throwing his mouthpiece.
What a baby!
I still love
what a damn baby.
I still love the gift, the meme when LeBron looks back at him after he blocks him. Yeah,
oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I'll use that forever. I will use that look forever. And then and of course, Game 6 I watched the same way as Game 5. Now, am I superstitious? Maybe not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
Little Michael Scottish. Yeah.
And if people don't believe in it, I don't know that I can truly say that I believe I had an impact on that. But I had to just go through it my way, you know? So Game 7, of course, I'm working sporting goods retail, of course, and the stores like that, they open up with the championship gear if your team wins, and they offer the employees, you can get paid to come and eat pizza, eat food, and watch the game together. I chose to not take the money. I said, no, you know me, you know how I operate. I need to watch this game the way I've been watching them.
Right.
And I mean, as that game's going on, the block, the shot, of course, the stop, and when the clock goes off, I mean, just a wave of emotions, because the game of basketball isn't just a game of basketball to me. I know I say at the end of the show all the time, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game, especially when I'm watching basketball and I'm somehow involved in the game of basketball.
Yeah.
And especially on Father's Day. Now, my dad was working, so we couldn't watch it together, but I just kept thinking of all the history that he took me through, and having me watch those games as a little kid, I had the nightmares. Instead of coming in, kind of settling me down in bed, go out and watch the Western Conference game, watching basketball just kind of calm me down and put me in a good place. And just recognizing and always respecting the history of the game, having a love for the game, never really thinking the team I root for is going to have an opportunity until LeBron got back here, and started thinking, like, is he really the guy that's going to end this drought? And yeah, he had the cast alongside him. You can't discredit Kyrie in any way. You can't discredit Kevin Love in any way. But when that final buzzer went off, I mean, my sister's calling me like, hey, we're going to get shirts. I'm like, you go get in line because I got to see them hold the trophy. And the moment that I got in line and my dad came up to me and gave me this big hug.
Yep.
I mean, everything came out of me.
Sure.
And this championship will always mean a lot. I know it's kind of blasphemous, and I guess I'll continue the blasphemous trend from last week as it kind of was. But it'll be blasphemous to say if the Browns ever win a Super Bowl, while I'll still cry, I will still love it to no end.
Mm-hmm.
If someone asked me to rank, if there's multiple championships in my lifetime to rank,
Sure.
This one may mean more. I can say that right now that I would probably rank it number 1.
Yeah.
Don't know how I'll feel later, but I think I will, just because of what this game, what this championship means to me beyond those 4 lines on that court.
Sure. And you know what? You bring up a really good point, and I wish we had a little bit more time to talk about
these stories could keep going and
they
going.
could go on forever, but you do bring up a really good point, because the Browns are on the verge of winning a championship. Now they got to get there.
Right.
You know, like we all acknowledge
Yes.
that you got to get to the show.
Got to do the
before
work,
you
as
win
Kevin
it.
Stefanski says.
Exactly. But we like the trajectory of this team. And if they did win, where would that rank among everything? I understand where you're coming from and completely 100% respect it, because once again, this broke the curse. It's on Father's Day. Like, we all have fathers. We all appreciate everything that they've done. And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, because reliving that moment, it's been 5 years and it feels like it was yesterday.
It does.
It really does. If the Browns were to ever win, I think the only way, and like in my mind, if the Browns win a Super Bowl, that goes above this, just because like of how diehard of a Browns fan I am, and that's fine. And you, Cavs with you, and Browns as well. I'm not saying that you're not.
We're all diehard, but like you're diehard
for a certain team.
Yes.
Right. I just think like if the Browns were to win a Super Bowl, the way that like the only way at this moment in time is if they did something historic in that Super Bowl. Like if they came back 28-3, like Patriot style.
Yeah.
Like, because breaking a 52-year-old curse is like no freaking joke. Like the only person that could have ever broke that curse was LeBron.
Right.
And got to give him props where props are due. I know a lot of people still don't like him because he left a second time. Honestly, haters are going to hate, but at this point in time, like, just let it go.
Yeah.
The dude won a championship 5 years ago today, and we still relive that moment like it was freaking yesterday.
I mean, look at the detail.
Still so good.
Listen to all the detail that all 3 of us had to remember that, and like the emotion that it brings out of us. I mean, it's
the one thing that like I pulled up the box score on this, and I checked out like quarter by quarter here for it. And game for the entire game, I had no idea. Like, Kevin Love balled his ass off in that game. Like, points wise, he only had 9 points. He had 14 rebounds. He had a plus minus of 19. Like, think about that. We won by 4, and he was responsible for plus 19. It's just everyone did their part. And like, you can't take anything away from that. And you look at someone like, I hate Draymond Green, but the dude balled out.
He did.
Like,
he was knocking down threes like nobody's business in that first half.
He had 32 points. He led the entire game with 32 and like 32 and 15 and 9. You know, that's not a bad night. You know, but then whenever Steph Curry and Clay, they let you down, which choke artists. But yeah, Steph for sure. For sure. But I digress.
And never forget Ty Lue, who of course just come back with the help get the Clippers into the Western Conference Finals for the first time in team history. He was the one that was able to stand up in front of LeBron at halftime and hold him accountable, and LeBron holding himself accountable. Like, that's when you
basically told him to blank off.
Yes. And it was going to take moments like that and little stories like that to be the team that made history and have a permanent mark in history. Like I said off the rip, you can take away that they're the only. You can never, ever take away that they were the first to come back from 3-1. I know a lot of people like to say, don't let people forget, or don't let that distract you from the Warriors blowing a 3-1 lead.
Right.
I know it's all in jest.
Let's not forget they were a 73-win team.
Right.
So.
They were a 73-win team.
On that.
And the Cavs came back from down 3-1 to win that series. We could go on, and this is a longer segment, but we got to.
Honestly, we could do the entire show on it.
We got sponsors for a reason. We got to get that information in here.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
I got a question for our special guest host tonight, who is always Positive Jay. And of course, we are joined by our producer extraordinaire, Peter Tillett, tonight. But Jay, I got a quick question for you before we get into our Hall of Fame question and the show. Are you able to explain Brown's Twitter to me? Because I don't understand why everybody wants to fight about whether we need to get rid of good players we already have for other good players to become available. Every single time another good player is rumored to be on the trade block or needs to be traded or becomes a free agent, Browns fans try to find a way to get him here and try to ruin what some guys that have already been here, like Jarvis Landry, bless him, the culture starter, trying to get those guys out of here. What is Brown's Twitter? Can you explain it to me?
There's two types in this situation, in my opinion.
Oof.
You got the defensive Browns Twitter, which I usually would fall into, but like I told you earlier, when I see people write up stuff like this, I just think of the Mad Max gif and I go, that's bait. I'm out. But yeah, the Browns Twitter is extremely defensive about the Browns. And that's why you got people like Colin Cowherd that take shots at Baker because he knows that we're going to go after him and retweet him and quote tweet him and say, you're this and that, and you don't know what you're talking about. And then the other ones are what I call the couch GMs, and they're all trying to win Couch GM of the Year. I understand we grew up and we've dealt with just crap GMs that, in my honest opinion, we could have done Twitter polls and had better drafts than the past GMs. Understand that. We don't have that anymore. Andrew Berry is amazing at what he does, and he puts people around him that are going to help him succeed. Trust these guys. You could sit there and throw out all these numbers that Julio Jones is giving you, whatever. Landry's great for us. He's a perfect fit for us. He is a leader of this team. He does things that numbers just can't measure. We need that guy here. If you get Julio Jones, whatever, I wouldn't trade Landry for him, but we also don't really need him.
No, we're playing fantasy football at this point.
Exactly.
I love fantasy football, but now fantasy football is taking over people's minds of being able to see clearly. I understand fan comes from the word fanatic, and usually fans aren't going to see clearly. That's why we're here for the Voice of the Land. We're here to help you. We're here to bring a little sense of reason and calm to situations. Let me just tell everybody out there that are saying, whether you're saying they need to trade Jarvis Landry for Julio Jones or just trade for Julio Jones in general, if you're saying it because you're hearing that the Baltimore Ravens are the top rated pick in all the Vegas books or sports books, whatever, if you're kind of a betting person, I'm not. I shouldn't be. I don't make great picks. That's why I don't predict on this show. That's why I leave it to Nostradamus when he's here. But if you're saying it just so that it's kind of a sly move to take a guy away from an AFC North opponent and add him to your roster, okay, I can get involved in that conversation, but again, you don't need him. So even if he goes to Baltimore, you're expecting Lamar Jackson to throw to him accurately every single time. And somehow, some way, the throwing motion and throwing accuracy of Lamar Jackson still is in question in his career, but he is the best athlete in the NFL. He is still a problem in the AFC North. Still why we have some of the better quarterbacks in the NFL all in one division, because he's still a problem. And he has playmakers that all he has to do is dump it off to some of them, and they'll go do the rest because so many guys are keying on him to go run. So we'll break down what the move, if Julio Jones goes to Baltimore, we'll talk about that moving forward. However, if you are someone that wants to trade Jarvis Landry for Julio Jones or trade Jarvis Landry in general, Pete Smith, looking at you, buddy, stop it. He is the culture starter. He is an integral piece that you need on this team. not just for what he does in the field, which is amazing and has set records for most receptions in a short amount of time in his early career. And he's that possession style receiver that's going to get you first downs on third down. He's also a locker room leader and teaching younger guys how to be leaders as well, whether vocally or by example. He does both. He's the one that started all this, whether you want to joke around about what he said on Hard Knocks or not. A lot of what he said there and what he says every single day is true. We talk about bless him all the time. What he's doing by saying bless him is showing what he can do, talking and telling the haters, look, you can say all you want. I'm going to show you who I am. And this team, my team around me, my brothers in this locker room are going to show you what we're all about. We don't need people to talk about what we're going to do or what we're not going to do. We're going to leave that all to the side. In this locker room, we're going to determine what we're going to be, how we're going to be, and how we get to the goals that we have set forth. That is the type of guy you need in your locker room.
Who did Anthony Schwartz go see right after he got drafted?
Jarvis Landry.
Watch 5 years from now, when that guy is a Pro Bowler, he's going to go back and be like, I go so much to Jarvis Landry,
And
a leader. Like Teddy Bruschi was one of the greatest linebackers ever. He wasn't physically awesome. He was a leader for that defense on that Patriots team. Like there's just, you need those kind of guys on a team. And he is. He's also awesome at catching a ball. I don't know if anybody knew this. And
he can produce on the field and off so that there are other production levels that raise to new heights on the field, not just for himself, but for his teammates.
How many touchdowns in the playoffs did Julio have last year?
He wasn't in the playoffs.
Oh,
yeah.
Did Jarvis have one against our
he did.
Steelers?
He did.
Was it a catch and run?
Yeah. I mean, basically like
we'll just forget about that. Doesn't matter.
Slot style receiver like he is, you catching it, and then Baker talks about get in the hands of playmaker and let him go make a play. Well, playmaker made a play in big moment, so I guess we need that guy on this team. There's other people that are saying that they're trying to argue, and I know it's bait. I know there's a certain person that tried to bait people yesterday. I'm not doing it because he said it, but other people have tried to say it. I think they're being serious about it, determining whether Julio Jones or Jarvis Landry are better than each other at wide receiver. I would say just stop that. Julio Jones is a better wide receiver than Jarvis Landry, but Jarvis Landry is a better option for the Cleveland Browns. We don't need to keep adding these new pieces. Then we got to restart the whole build the culture thing again. That's the old Browns. We don't need to do that anymore. We have enough good players.
Chemistry. Why mess up the chemistry? That offense was prolific last year.
Chemistry is one of the most important things. There's a reason why these guys want to get together in the offseason, because they feel like their chemistry isn't where they want it to be, and yet it looks amazing last year. They want to take it to the next level in year 2. Just let it happen. Let's see what this group can do. Andrew Berry has given Kevin Stefanski more pieces to work with, more keys to the kingdom. Let's see what they can do now.
Here's my thing. In the playoff game against the Chiefs, it wasn't our offense that gave up 3rd and 14.
It wasn't
to Chad Henne.
No.
Okay. And
what did they do in the offseason?
They bolstered the defense, which is exactly what we've been.
What they needed. They got what they needed. They don't need Julio Jones.
No.
It's not, you don't bring in one player and it's not going to make a difference. It's 11 playing as one.
Yes.
I think the problem is people think of like the Cavs. When we got LeBron, the whole team was different, right? Because LeBron carried the team.
Yes.
When LeBron goes away, the Cavs suck again.
Yep.
Okay. It's not the way the Browns work.
That's not the way football works.
Yeah, but maybe people just don't understand that.
I guess I just got to chalk it up to fans being fanatics and just let it go. I don't get involved in Browns Twitter, but I know, you're more tied in with some of those people than I am. And maybe they would help me get more followers. I don't know. But
I mean, everyone's entitled.
I'm not out there for that.
I mean, it's all hypothetical. If we brought in Julio Jones, maybe it would bring us to the Super Bowl. No one really knows. I just trust Andrew Berry to do his job. Yes. I don't care what they do anymore. Like, I used to speculate who I wanted and what I wanted.
Yeah.
I stopped doing that. I just enjoy it.
I mean, if I'm not a fan of a move, I'll say that, but it's not, and I don't criticize if I make a one criticism, it's also not that I don't trust them. That's another thing that Browns Twitter gets into. If you say one, negative, slightly negative thing about those guys, then they think that you don't trust them. We trust Andrew Berry to do his job, and he has done his job this offseason. We trust Kevin Stefanski and these players to do their job on the field, but they can't just talk about it or say they're about it. They got to go be about it again. It all restarts come September. It's only, May 24th, May 23rd, whatever it is today. We're still 4 months away from football. There's going to be a lot of time to talk about this.
That's why you have the Julio Jones conversation.
Oh,
There's
boy.
nothing to talk about with the Browns.
If that's how you want to fill your time, that's, to each their own.
You got to create content. He
Yeah.
did it. Hats off, Pete.
So, yeah.
You got everyone to talk about
Got
it.
everybody
too.
to talk about it. Dang it. I went for the bait. I tried not to go for bait anymore. Dang it.
It happens.
I just got frustrated. I got to stand up for my guy, Jarvis. Jarvis is he may not be an official friend of show, but we are a friend of his on this show. So maybe at some point we'll get the reciprocation of friendship.
I can't tell you how happy I was when they traded for him.
Oh, that was, I love them. That move was one of my favorite moves. I just knew that the guy was going to produce. I knew he was going to produce.
I watched too many receivers come in and drop balls left and right, and this guy never ever does it. So
yeah, didn't know he was that big of a leader, but hey, the more you bring, the more I like you. Jarvis Landry, probably my favorite player on this team right now.
he's up there. There's a lot of them. It's hard to pick. It's like your kids, man.
Yeah.
Who do you say is your favorite?
Yeah.
Because I throw Nick Chubb at you. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
what about Myles Garrett? Yeah, he's pretty good. Oh, Baker Mayfield. Yeah.
I love them all equally. That's
Exactly.
no, we'll just scratch out the part where I said I love.
He loves whoever comes on his show more, though.
Hey, this Zoom's open. Zoom links are open.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
If you could only hear the conversations we have in between the breaks. Welcome back to the Voice of the Land podcast. I'm Nick Paulus. Producer Peter Tellup is on the ones and twos. Jared Bates co-hosting here for us. Kevin Arnold is on assignment here for us. He will be back next week, though. I think we'll figure that out at a later time, but we're all going to get the band back together here eventually. I left the previous break leading into this one, teasing some movies that that you remember watching when you were younger and they you recently watched them or you thought about them a little bit more and you go, man, does that suck? For me, that's Space Jam. Space Jam, whenever I was younger, and once again, this is literally Kevin, I'm sorry. This is seriously Kevin's favorite movie. And to each their own. I'm not going to say oh, you have if you want to rip my favorite movies, that's fine. To each their own. And that's Kevin's favorite movie. And I'm not going to discount that. I just think it's garbage. I'm sorry. And I'm done with saying that it's not because I just don't like it. Someone brought it up on Twitter saying the Space, it said, Space Jam 2 is going to be really bad, right? It was responding to someone's comment about, LeBron and and I retweeted. I said, yeah, that's probably true. But let's not also forget Space Jam, the original, sucked. And people were hitting me up left and right oh, my God, that's blasphemous. I can't believe you would say that. I'm sorry. I'm spitting the truth right now. This is ridiculous. The movie came out in 96. And I'm not going to say oh, the graphics were terrible. I don't care about that. I just don't like it. It's not good. The acting's awful. it's just not funny. And like, I know it's not meant for Nick
No,
Paulus at 32, but
Bill Murray is funny in that movie.
Okay.
You cannot say he is not.
okay. And that's another issue I have. Okay. And this is gonna be blasphemous. So Bill Murray and I have beef.
Does Bill Murray?
Bill
know
Murray
this?
does not know this. This is breaking news to Bill Murray.
Okay.
Breaking news to Bill Murray. I got beef with Bill, and it's only because he's a Cubs fan. Every time that the moment the Cubs won the World Series in 2016, all they did was it was Kyle Schwarber, or it was Bill Murray, or Eddie Vedder. It was those three guys.
It was Joe Buck and Kyle Schwarber.
But I don't care about so much about Joe Buck. Like, everyone hates on Joe Buck. The announcers in Chicago, they were like, "Oh, you're rooting for the Indians." In Cleveland, "Oh, you're rooting for the Cubs." Like, Joe Buck can't win. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And first off, he's a Cardinals fan. like his dad grew up calling Cardinals games. He's a Cardinals fan. Like, I'm cool with him doing whatever the hell he needs to do. But Bill Murray and I got beef, and I loved Bill Murray. Ghostbusters was one of my favorite movies growing up. I mean, Groundhog Day. I mean, you can go on and on with all of the Bill Murray movies. Okay. Stripes. Oh my God, Stripes is awesome.
Yes.
I'll give him that one. That's so great.
What about Bob? My kids love that movie.
What about Bob's Good? I'm not a huge fan of it, but like, I see the intrigue for it. Yeah, like I totally,
I'm just surprised my kids love it as much as they do.
Right.
Joe's 10. He's like, "Can we watch What About Bob?" I'm like, "Okay,
sure. Yeah,
Here
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. But Bill Murray, every time that they showed him, like, so I associate Bill Murray with Cubs fan, and like, I hate Cubs fan now. And like, it's just because I'm jealous.
You're just bitter.
I'm just bitter.
You're
I'm a bitter Cleveland fan.
He's
Like,
bitter.
I get it, but like, I tried to watch Ghostbusters not too long ago, and that still holds up. Like, the graphics, obviously, whatever. There was 1984 people, but like, it hurts me, and like, I got a pit in my stomach right now just saying I can't watch Bill Murray movies because he's a Cubs fan. So yeah, breaking news: Bill Murray is not my cup of tea anymore. But
wow.
I say that, and then heaven forbid, he passes away, and then people are gonna be like, "Look at this asshole," like okay, like, I get it.
I'm gonna have to say something though, because I worked downtown during 2016.
Sure.
And our office was right down the street from Progressive Field.
Okay.
So the day after Game 7, me and one of my coworkers went to breakfast across the street from our office.
Yeah.
And it was filled with Cubs fans. And honestly, they were some of the nicest people. They actually,
they're all douchebags.
They felt, they were happy that they won, but they felt bad that they beat us because they knew the suffering.
Well,
I get it.
What? Like, I get that. The only the only one that I'm cool with is Matt Fishman, my boss. So huge Cubs fan. He is.
All right.
So
well,
I'll give Matt a pass.
I mean, how could they even be bitter though? Because at that point in time, even Cleveland was going to end a streak, or Chicago was going to end a streak.
But
Right.
from what you're saying, they're like, hey, we feel for you.
Right,
like
right.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were happy that they won, but they were like, we're sorry that we had to beat you.
And honestly, if the roles were reversed, like, I would be saying the same thing as what they were probably saying to you. So, but like, we still haven't had it in like 75 years. I'm like, it kills me.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
I
hurt,
know. No, it sucks.
So.
It sucks. That's for sure. But once again, that movie for me that I've watched time and time again, whenever I was younger, grown up, and I'm like, man, does this suck? That right there, for sure, Space Jam. Also, for my generation, and like, this is going to really rock some people, Power Rangers.
Oh no, you can go ahead with that.
No, but like you guys are a little bit older than me, but like,
I still watch Power Rangers.
But like, I'm saying, like the original Power Rangers, like, I thought was the greatest thing I've ever seen. In the Power Rangers, the movie, like, that's the title of the movie. Power Rangers, the movie. Ivan Ooze. To be fair, Ivan Ooze, great villain, but the entire plot, like, people are going to look at me and say, you bougie ass. And I get it. But like, the movie sucks. The movie sucks. You know, the Megazoids suck in that. Like, they all suck. Yeah, I hate them all. My childhood was a sham. Like, this is bad. This is all bad here for me. I want to know. Jeez, I want to know what are some movies that you guys grew up with that you're like, you know what, like you've seen it recently or you remember it and you're like, man, that doesn't hold up.
All right, so we have Disney Plus for the kids.
Okay, yeah,
because
of course, because you have to.
Yeah,
well, and then
it's priority.
And some shows for dad.
Of course, yeah, Mandalorian. Hell yeah.
I've never watched it.
Oh,
blasphemy!
I'm not a Star Wars guy.
It's a fantastic.
It's still a really good show.
So I have to watch it.
I would give it a shot. Definitely.
All right, so now I got.
If you like action, it's really good. It follows the Star Wars trend, but like
it's a samurai western movie.
Exactly, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And if you like cute little green things, like Baby Yoda's kind of cool. So,
All
but
right.
go on.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
So for me, the Big Green. Do you remember that movie? The
soccer movie. Yeah,
As
with
a kid-
Ham Porter as the goalie.
love
Oh
it.
yeah.
I love that movie as a kid. I
Yeah.
watched the crap out of it, and I watch it now, and I'm like, no, can't do it.
Yeah.
Now, one that's held up the time for me,
Sure.
and it's my favorite movies of all time, The Mighty Ducks. That movie, I love all the Mighty Ducks.
So
it doesn't matter.
I get into an argument with my friend Mark all the time with this. What's better, Mighty Ducks 1 or Mighty Ducks 2?
2.
2. Thank you.
2.
2 is way better.
The Knuckle Puck.
The Knuckle Puck.
You can't go wrong
That's
with
the
Knuckle
best
Puck.
thing. The Knuckle Puck
Wait,
is awesome.
He said the first one's better?
He said the first one.
Oh, because of
But I think-
Conway?
I think, come on.
God.
Screw you. No, but Mark says the first one, the second one's way better. Team USA. Who doesn't love Team USA?
I know, right?
Got to beat the guys from, what was it, Iceland?
Iceland.
Yes,
Yeah, there
screw
you go.
those guys.
Yeah.
A douche that hit Gordon Bombay with a stick. Yeah, come on.
Can we
Great
throw
movie.
Can we throw TV series in this?
Sure. Bad series. Oh, you know what? I got a bad series, but yeah.
As a kid, growing up, I loved to watch dinosaurs. I finally started watching it back.
Is it bad?
It is the most awful thing. I'm like,
Oh
how-
no, that's
I'm like,
heartbreaking.
it's not that it's horrible. It's
Yeah.
just you can see, we've been spoiled now with technology.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
you can see the delay, the puppet, like, and I'm sitting here going, this was
So you're a little
hilarious.
bougie too. Okay.
I'm going to go a little bougie on this, but I'm sitting here looking at it going, man, I really love this as a kid. Why don't
Yeah.
I love it now? Now, Alf, on the other hand, love Alf.
So I never watched Alf. Like
Alf
I
was
just
hilarious.
I never got into Alf. I don't know, it just wasn't on the TV for me. But dinosaurs, I get where you're coming from with that. I got another show as well, but Peter, I need to know, like, do you have a show or a movie that just
Well, one of the things, and it's might be blasphemous here, is that it's not even the whole movie, but Return of the Jedi. I like the movie, but when it
treading on yawn,
when
no,
it-
look at me.
when it gets
treading
to
on
the
water.
when it gets
Careful.
to the Ewoks,
Okay.
I just
Agreed.
as a kid, I was like, oh, those are really freaking cool, and now I'm like,
Agreed.
what the hell was I thinking?
Agreed.
there's just
Ewoks suck.
yeah, they're
Ewoks
just
suck.
it's just, and
It
I
makes-
watch it with my kids, and I'm like, oh my god, there is so much Ewoks in
Am I
this
supposed
movie.
to believe that the Ewoks took down the Empire? That's what I'm led to believe. Is that the Ewoks took down like the entire like forest of Endor,
Right. Well, how about what is it? The
Fortress of Solitude that they had.
the ATST, the little
Yeah.
two-legged walker, and he
The-
gets,
the
he gets
AT
hit with a log and
was-
explodes. I'm
Is
like,
it the ATST?
It's-
It might be. It's the ATST or the AT-AT.
AT-AT is the four-legged.
That's the
one. Yeah,
four-legged
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And
So, the ATST.
yeah, and it's
yeah.
like, there's a log hits it, and it just like explodes. I'm like,
yeah, dude.
Man.
Preach.
That-
yeah.
that-
okay.
yeah.
So like, Return of the Jedi is awesome, except for the Ewoks.
Yes.
Like, can we agree with that?
yes.
Okay. Because Jedi is awesome. Well, the lightsaber scenes in that are great. Luke versus Vader is great.
Oh yeah.
Empire is great. Jabba, the whole Jabba beginning is great. You don't like the Jabba?
The plan the plan to escape is so convoluted.
It's
That is like-
good.
it's
It's
like
perfect.
it's like did Luke actually expect to get captured because he
Yes.
hid the lightsaber in R2?
Yes.
It's like,
He knew it all.
and
That's the point.
the end to Boba Fett. I mean,
Okay.
come on, that was.
But-
I'm sorry, but
they
where
hey, they redeemed themselves
they,
though.
yes,
to be seen
Yes.
later.
yes.
But
I agree.
Are we speaking Greek right
Yeah,
now?
you guys
Okay,
are,
okay.
like,
Okay.
I
it is-
agree. They
it
redeemed
is
themselves.
French Canada right now to me, and I'm just going,
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
They redeemed themselves. Yes,
Yes.
but there's just bits and pieces of it that are like,
I agree.
okay, but now Empire.
That holds up.
Oh, that was like, I think that was one of the first movies ever where it's like it ends and it's like the bad guys win.
Right.
It's
so
like, what?
that holds up and then delivers even better. Like anytime I watch that movie, it just keeps getting better and better. It really does.
I will say, since we're on a little Star Wars tangent
Sure.
here, I like the original one. It was a little hokey because it was 1977.
1977. yeah.
Okay, but when they released Rogue One,
Okay.
the ending of Rogue One leading into the beginning of A New Hope
Is
all
what?
of a
Is
sudden
what?
is insanely awesome.
Thank you.
Because
Because that's the proper word.
because all of a sudden everything means so much more at the
Right.
beginning of A New Hope.
Dude,
Because of that, it's like,
I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps. I love Rogue One. And Rogue One to me is the best of all of the new stuff that they have out. I love Rogue One. It's sad that it's just a one-off. Because clearly what happens in the movie, like everything that goes about with that, but it is perfect in the Vader scene of the corridor.
oh my god, yes.
Just
Anyways.
top 3 Star Wars scenes. It's right there.
I mean, they could have replaced the whole, 1, 2, and 3 trilogy just
Honestly,
with the Rogue One.
yeah. Well, and you know what? Revenge of the Sith doesn't get the love it deserves because Revenge of the Sith is awesome. And I agree. Bo and Nathan were talking on this on CBD on Friday. Actually, they were saying Revenge of the Sith is good, but it gets pulled down because of Hayden Christensen
Yeah.
as
But I think
Darth Vader, Anakin.
I think
that's
that-
true. He sucks in that.
he does, but
A lot of people suck right now.
from what I understand, it was the directing sucked in that. It
I'm
was,
sure he did. Yeah.
and honestly, those
But
those
like some
movies,
good actors, like Portman's great in that.
Eh,
Ewan
it-
McGregor's,
is she?
yeah, she is.
She's pretty wooden in that whole
Maybe in that one, but like
all 3 of them. She's she's,
no. Natalie Portman is solid in Phantom Menace,
Oh,
Attack of the Clones. Like, there's only a couple of good things I can say about those movies. Natalie Portman is that. Ewan McGregor as
Obi-Wan,
and he's coming back. Oh my god, I can't wait for that series. That's going to be great. The one last series here for me, and I want to get your guys' thoughts. I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but it ended recently over the last couple of years. How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you tried to rewatch that? Because like
Not rewatch
I
it.
used to watch it all the time. Like that would be like one of the shows that I'd like fall asleep to.
Mhm.
I'd watch it and like pass out. I didn't watch it for the last couple of years, and then it popped up on like Hulu or something. I started watching it again. I can't watch it. It's bad.
Yeah.
And then like I think it's bad because like I know how the ending is. And like the ending, I tried to defend the ending whenever it first came out. I was like, oh no, it makes sense, I guess. And then like I watched it a couple more times. I was like, wow, no, that sucks. Like I don't like this at all. And then I like I said, a couple of years pass. I try and watch it again. It is unwatchable. It is at that point where like I cringe that I'm like, wow, I like that. And that was only a couple of years ago. It wasn't like it was once again Power Rangers long ago, like Space Jam long ago.
I can see that with I haven't watched it recently, but I mean Josh Radnor I think went to Kenyon, which is where my wife went to college. So
okay.
I don't know if they were there at the same time or not, but we watched it I think partially because of that
Sure.
connection there, and
people hate Ted Mosby, but like
he's
he's a douche.
well there's a lot of there's a lot of like fan
Just
theories.
douche.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I told Kelly this morning. I was like, I chose violence this morning.
Yeah, you did.
There
Wow.
are a lot of like fan theories out there, and I think one of them was talking about that Barney, that the reason Barney was such a womanizer was that was really Ted. But since he's telling the story, he's kind of projecting all of like his really crappy qualities onto someone else because he's telling think about it, he's telling the story to his kids.
Sure.
Hey kids, here's all the women I hooked up with before I met your mother.
And there are moments where he does do that in the show where he's like, oh, like the sandwich thing, like when they're smoking weed and they're like, oh no, we had sandwiches,
right?
Like they switch it up a little bit. So like, that makes sense.
It is I like the premise. I think it kind of like, I don't know, got lost along the way somewhere.
I think it's 9 seasons long. The first 8 seasons, I remember thinking that it was some of the best television out there. And then that 9th season, I think, is what killed it because it's shot over a 3-day time frame. Barney and Robin's wedding. And you're like, you go the entire, like, they just wrap it up in just it was just a bad way. It didn't sit well with me. So,
yeah, I yelled at my wife over that one.
Did you?
I'm like, you made me watch all this till this crappy ending. Come out.
Yeah.
Well, that's a topic for another day.
I was
series that the ending just.
Oh
yeah,
man.
and there's so many of those Game of Thrones. Like there's so Dexter. Oh my god!
Season? There's only 7 seasons of Game of Thrones, right?
Oh,
there are now. Yeah, that 8th one didn't happen.
So my wife did not want to watch Game of Thrones.
Okay.
At all. So I got to watch it. And that was like my thing at night. I would just watch it. So we finally got to the end and I'm watching the ending and everything. And I'm like, the ending's over with. And I'm just sitting there. She goes, so how was it? I just walked outside, got in the car and just left.
Yep. Go to the bar, have a drink. Yeah. No, it was.
I come back. She goes, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what happened? Like, did
Bran is king. I don't know.
Something somewhere.
He had the best story. It makes no sense.
But he didn't.
He didn't. Like, if anyone, Arya had the best story.
Oh yeah.
And like, obviously, it should have been Jon Snow as the king because let's be honest, dude came back to life and like that's badass.
Yeah.
And the guy like just can't be killed. Like he is so good.
And he stared down
Battle of the Bastards. Like, oh my god, no, that guy should have.
He stared down a dragon.
Yeah.
He's like, what? What are you going to do?
Yeah. Come on, dragon. Like the dude's awesome. I love Jon Snow. I just wish, I just wish they would have never made that last season. But you had to finish it. I get it. The Night King got totally screwed. Oh god, we got to end this.
Yeah.
Like this is where we're already 9 minutes over here. I want to say I want to say thank you, Jared, for hopping on with us. I know it was short notice here, but thank you very much for hopping on with us.
Anytime.
Give your plugs.
I am that fat guy. I am on the Browns table, which something's happening.
Yeah,
soon,
there you go.
Also, Legal Ham in the Face, where me and my boys talk all Cleveland sports.
Brian and Vinny, shout out.
And then we once a month we go to a local spot here in Cleveland, show off the food that most people don't get to see.
Yeah.
Dive bars or what have you, so that they can get a good look at. Because some of my best food is dive bars.
Oh, no doubt.
And like when you call, you're like, oh, just give me some French fries or
that was like
the thing. Shut up.
I was like, I'll do like mott sticks or like fries, like whatever, like because I know they have bar food.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, no, I didn't have the menu in front of me, but you're like, dude, I got you. I got you.
I got you.
And
barbecue pulled pork potato skins.
They were so good.
So and they were boats. They weren't like little ones. They were
literally half potatoes.
Okay, wait a minute. So
I had like 6 potatoes
Nick,
that night.
Nick
like
mentioned the potato skins. He didn't say they were barbecued pulled pork.
I did.
That's a key piece of information.
I did forget
you
to
left off.
mention that, but pulled pork barbecue. Oh, dude, it was good. It was good.
When we were looking through the menu for you, I was like, he just wants French fries. Because you're not getting French. Like, no, I'm not getting them French fries. Like, let's go over here. You almost got buffalo chicken tater skins too.
I
was like, no, give him the barbecue. I think he'll like the barbecue.
Hey, no, that Mulligan, shout out Mulligans.
But we've been to Mr. B's down the street on 130th.
Okay,
we're going to be at Rookies on July 6th.
There you go.
July 10th, we're going to be at the Top Dog tailgate for the City of Cleveland Dogs. And then after that, we'll be doing live shows every week, but we'll still only do our once a month live show out and about. So we got Mr. Divots coming up. We got a couple other places that if you guys know any place, hit us up because that's how we love food. There's places that we've never been to that you
Yeah.
walk in, you're like, I don't know about this.
And that's the thing. Like, you don't know until you like actually sit down and order the food. Like, if people know, like, you spread the word,
Oh, yeah.
especially in post-COVID world.
Oh, yeah.
We got to know these places that are starting to pop back up again. Like,
Well,
it's absolute must.
That's why we started the show, is because we know the restaurant business got hurt the most,
Yeah.
and Cleveland can pump out some bomb food.
No
So
doubt.
we try to travel everywhere for it. So
Yeah.
come check us out. Find us on at Ham Illegal and at I Am That Fat Guy.
Yep, there we
And,
go.
You know, you won't be disappointed. The topics we get into,
They're
trivia.
great. The trivia, that's always great. You and I went back and forth on the
Yes, we did.
most wins against in the Super Bowl era there
Yes.
for it. Yeah, no, it was a great
I
time.
gave Brian the Eddie Harris trivia. That's
really
Major League,
okay.
because we were talking with Lad about doctoring the balls.
Yeah,
I'm like, name the 4 things that you used to put on the ball. He goes, he had no idea. And I was like,
Vaseline.
no, it's not Vaseline.
Spit, snot. There's snot,
Crisco,
Crisco.
Bardol, Vagisil. And if the
Okay.
host watching me close, I put a little jalapeno in my nose.
Yep, that's right.
So he had to name
That's
those.
what it was.
And
yeah.
he was so upset. You should see his face just distraught, because I was like,
Man,
hey, Vinny
that's
knows
a good
it.
one.
And I was like, Vinny knows it. He goes, no, Vinny doesn't know. I'm like, yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
You know, I was watching the show last week and I kind of had a sense of what was going to happen. Shout out to Jared Bates and the guys, Bry and Vinny over at Legal Hand to the Face, good friends of the show.
Great dudes.
Of course. And thank you for Jared for coming in to fill my seat. I feel like I'm trying to live up to filling those shoes right now, just dusting off the rust, driving the ship here this week. But, I was enjoying the show. I'm tuning in. I'm loving what I'm hearing. And then,
Yeah, you were.
then, someone across the table from me decided to go and play the card. And the question was last week, we'll call back to last week. The question was, what is a movie that you loved as a kid and just sucks basically at this point?
That's exactly what I said.
Man, you had to go there.
I had to bring up Power Rangers. I know it
wasn't Power Rangers.
That's not what you're upset about.
Space Jam. I mean,
Yeah.
you can think
Yeah.
that the next one's going to
I'm
be
so-
crap. Like, I'm going in with very low expectations. As much as I love LeBron,
I know,
but Space Jam, man.
like I said,
I
didn't even bring this up. Someone brought. Well, okay, so I brought up the original Space Jam thing,
Right.
But someone brought up the fact that Space Jam 2 is going to suck, and I said probably. I'm still probably going to watch it. I got HBO Max, so
I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it, at least give it an attempt. But
Yeah.
give it the old college try. But
The
I'm
Toon Squad versus the Goon Squad, baby.
I'm sorry, Kevin. I can't, man. I'm done. I can't keep living this charade, this charade or this lie. I don't even know. It's not a good movie, Kevin. It just isn't. I get it. If it brings back nostalgic feelings for you, I get that.
I mean, that's part of it because,
But do you think that it's a good movie?
I do.
See, I don't.
See, I can watch it over and over and over again because I understand it's not meant to be any sort of cinematography award-winning film.
I'm not saying it
it's
needs
the Looney Tunes.
I'm not
buddy.
saying it got to win Academy Awards. I'm not saying that. But can I also be a little blasphemous? We didn't bring this up.
Oh my god.
Looney Tunes are overrated.
Oh my god.
Looney Tunes are overrated. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm more of a Flintstones dude. I'm more of a Scooby-Doo. Where are you?
Well, see, Scooby-Doo is number one for me.
Well, obviously, clearly, Scooby-Doo
is number one.
I mean, Scooby Snacks.
Was
Come
that
on.
Hanna-Barbera or something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera, yeah.
So once again, all a part of that
Right.
sort of universe. And that's the type of stuff that I like. Jetsons, I'm not too fond of it, but like whenever they did the mix up, the mashup of them, I was cool with it. I'm sorry, Kevin, I know it breaks your heart hearing you
It doesn't
say
break
this.
me heart. Like, I mean, if you want to live like a, like a difficult life where you can't enjoy Space Jam.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on you. Like, I'm not
I
here.
guess.
I'm not here to
That's
like try
on
to
me.
convince you that it's a great movie. I'm
Fair.
just telling you.
And like I said, I'm not trying to.
Right.
And once again, respectfully, I just don't think it's a good movie.
All right. So you don't think it's a good movie? I think
Yes.
I still think it's a great movie. I can still watch it to this day. I was actually thinking about a movie that maybe I watched as a kid that I can't watch today.
Yeah. What?
I don't know that I can. I couldn't think of one.
Sure.
There's just a lot of movies I don't watch anymore that I watched as a
Okay.
kid. Like I guess all of the. I'm not watching any of the Disney princess movies or anything. I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
That's not what my Disney Plus account is for.
Right. Well, yeah.
So, and the only reason why we got HBO Max was so I could watch Space Jam 2 with the lowest of expectations. That might be one where, I might try to tap into child version of Kevin and be
Sure.
like, would you like this? And if I say no to that,
Now, are you?
it's bad.
Are you going to watch Space Jam and then watch Space Jam 2? Is that because I kind of feel like that's what you're going to do, and that's fine. Like for some movies, you kind of have to do that. Like
Right,
if
'cause
you're
I
going to
ju-
watch a Star Wars movie, you're going to watch it from
there's
all
such
the
a
way
big
up. Like
there's such a big gap. So I wouldn't
There
do
is.
that for continuation of
Okay.
the story. But I think I may still do that because, just to watch Space Jam again, just to say like,
just to relive that stuff.
and if I can stream it on HBO Max and not have to go to the theater.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I'm going to the theater to watch Space Jam.
Are
2,
you?
though. I think I'm.
And you know what? That's probably the right call. It probably is.
Mhm.
If you're going to watch it,
Right.
you got to commit to it.
I mean, I'm going to commit to Space Jam 2, and also I'm going to commit to a movie franchise a lot of people are off the bandwagon of. Like, I'm going to go to the theater to watch F9 just because I'm a big John Cena fan, so I kind of want to see him in that, and like everybody's going to compare him to The Rock, but I don't know. I'm not Oscar Golden Globe award winning movie,
And that's fair.
I'm action movie, so like I understand everybody getting off the bandwagon of Fast and Furious. Like, I'm not here to
Dude,
like
they're
I'm
trying to
pounding
go
the
to
table.
They're trying to go to space. The first one was about boosting cars and CD players,
I know.
and they're trying to go to
VCRs.
Right.
VCRs. They're trying to boost VCRs. $100,000 worth of VCRs.
I think they were those 13-inch TV
It-
VCR
yeah.
combos.
Right.
And you know what? That movie was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give that
So, like-
props where
But
props
that's
are
like the
due.
Transformer movies. I mean,
The first
it-
one was good.
but it
Mhm.
was, but it's it's stuff blowing up. If
Yeah.
I go to see
It's a Michael Bay movie.
right, if I go to see Transformers, I want to see giant robots, stuff blowing up.
Yeah.
If I see a Fast and Furious movie, I want to see
King Kong
Fast
versus
Cars.
Godzilla. I get
Sometimes
it.
you just want that popcorn
Yeah.
summer movie.
I get
to
it.
It doesn't have to be an Oscar.
Right. Like,
nomination.
I've broken those Fast and Furious movies down like in like the wildness that the corner that they
He
turned.
catches a car in this
I know.
one.
Like the how crazy it is, and like the unreal,
Right.
like there's very little realism
Yeah.
when it kind of started with some realism at least to it.
It did. It
And-
was awesome.
And then, the cinematic explosions and all that.
Yes.
So like, again, it's more of like that summer movie. For
Where
me.
did it get out of hand?
Where did it jump the shark?
Where did it jump the shark? Because I think that was Fast Five. I think that's whenever they brought in The Rock, right?
Fast Five is where they brought in The Rock. You started to see elements of it in Fast and Furious 4, like the fourth,
Like when
one,
they brought everyone back together.
when they
Right.
started to bring everybody back together. But it really took the turn when they started to become like crime fighters.
Right.
Was Fast Five, and
Yeah,
that
that's
you know,
where it jumped the shark.
that's where it kind of
That's-
jumped the shark. But I'm still gonna watch a movie like that. But I'm not pounding the table for the Fast
Sure.
and Furious saga. I'm pounding the table for Space Jam. I'll literally pound the table
All you,
for
bro.
Space Jam for
That's
the rest
all you.
of my life. I don't care if I'm the only one. I will do that, but not for Fast and Furious.
Good man there. Good man there.
But so, I mean, I said I was going to really get into it, but it was kind of like in the moment type thing.
Sure.
You know, it's kind of past. I just wanted to bring it up a little bit, but you brought the question to us because we always like to kind of have a fun conversation, and we're more so fun movie conversations.
Sure.
You asked us, what is your favorite comedy movie since 2000? Peter, I don't usually start with you. I got to do it. It's an honor of Father's Day and all the work that you do. I feel like I need to start with you sometimes in these conversations. Because sometimes I forget about you.
Thanks.
It's rough. I'm not like forget about you, but forget to ask him. It's tough driving this ship, all right, man. You know, I'm trying to build this.
I know you should have. Last week it was tough. It was tough.
Oh boy.
Well, I did go through and look at a list of some of the top comedies and looked at those, and like 40-Year-Old Virgin's on there, and there's a lot of movies on there that I'm like, Mean Girls. I'm like, they're funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would say they're like the funniest.
Right.
Sure. Super Bad, which I think it's a great, high school teenage movie.
Yeah,
I think it was really good. But honestly, some of the Edgar Wright movies I think are the funniest. I love to go back and watch like Hot Fuzz. Shaun of the Dead is great.
Yeah.
End of the World is a little bit weird.
Yeah, it is.
Because
it is.
Because it's still part of that trilogy, but it's a little bit different. But then I was kind of thinking, one movie that I think is pretty damn funny is Deadpool.
Okay.
Because it's not technically a comedy, but
I've heard that it has a lot of comedic elements.
I mean, it's Ryan Reynolds.
It's Ryan Reynolds. There's a lot of fourth wall breaks. It's gory. It's so gory that
that's why I won't watch.
But it is. But it really is funny, and there's just a lot of just little things that my kids want to watch it. I'm like, no, I'm doing it. My friends have watched it. I'm like, their parents don't love them,
right?
So because and their parents don't love sleeping because I don't want to have to stay up all night because the kids are having nightmares about how gory that movie is. But it is freaking hilarious.
It is.
So.
And that is a solid movie. I like Deadpool. Deadpool 2 wasn't my cup of tea.
It was okay, but the first one was by far
it just tried too hard to be like number one, and like I guess that's how some of those movies are. But like Deadpool 1,
right?
I'm with you.
Though there was, I think it was Brad Pitt had that cameo in Deadpool
for a second. He was in it for 1 second. He gets shocked, and then you see his
the invisible guy.
He was the invisible guy. So like you have Brad Pitt as the invisible guy, but like he doesn't say any words. He doesn't say anything. He literally gets caught in power lines and gets shocked to death. And you see his face for a split second, and like you're wondering like, who's this guy, and you see him get shocked, and you're like, holy crap, was that Brad Pitt?
Right.
And then that's the whole thing of,
and I heard I think he agreed to do that cameo for a cup of coffee.
He did.
That was his payment for that.
Yeah.
Which
is awesome. Which is the best way to do that. Yeah.
Paulus?
I came up with this topic just by randomly checking out like HBO Max, which once again, did you say you just got it?
Yeah, we just got it because we got it for the Friends reunion.
I'm telling you, and like we watched that. That's pretty good. Kelly loves Friends. I like Friends. It's once again, I'm totally for it.
That's another thing. Like I'm big on Friends, but I understand those that are like totally against it. Just the whole like Twitter trend of like people bashing people that are about
people
Friends.
Are douchebags.
Yeah, like it's like
it is
or like for what you wear, like Crocs or cargo shorts, or,
whatever. Anyway, I agree with you there 100%. Like if you want to watch Friends, go and watch Friends. Like if you don't want to watch it, then screw off. I don't care.
If you want to watch Space Jam, go ahead and watch Space Jam. If you don't want to watch Space Jam, go sulk in a corner. I don't know.
Yes, you know what? Touche. Well played. Touche, sir. Touche. But the reason for this question is because I was watching HBO Max and it randomly popped up. One of the newest ads was 40-Year-Old Virgin, and I forgot how awesome that movie is from start to finish. Steve Carell is a genius all the way throughout because you 100% believe that he has never had sex before in his entire life. And like the situations he puts himself in and the stories he tries to make, the whole poker game scene, wherever he's like describing things. And like, it is a bag of sand. And they're like, what? He goes, let's just keep playing. And they're like, dude, like, no, you got to answer this. And like, they just go into it. It is just so ridiculously good. Our good friend Anthony hit me up and he said, like, if you keep coming up with these bad takes, like I'm gonna start calling you Stephen A. If you want to call me Stephen A, that dude makes like 20 million a year.
Yeah, it's kind of a compliment.
Kind of a compliment
Right.
where we're at right now. But his point is that it was a bad take. I asked him what a good movie, what's a better movie. He said Step Brothers. I like Step Brothers. I like it a lot. And like I've rewatched it recently and it's a funny movie. It's not even Will Ferrell's best movie. It just isn't, you know,
right?
Like his best movie of the 2000s. Can we all agree on it? What do you think I'm going to say?
I'm thinking Anchorman.
Anchorman.
Okay.
Anchorman is the best one.
Yeah.
And like he's had some great ones, Ricky Bobby and, you know, all of that sort of stuff. But Anchorman is the best one. Most disappointing sequel possibly of all time is Anchorman 2. Neither here nor there. But I do believe that
until Space Jam 2 comes out.
Until they, well, we'll see. But
I mean, I might end up agreeing.
Kevin might agree with that whenever it comes out.
I've already set myself up for that.
But once again, so I watched that, and then I watched back to back. I watched that and Wedding Crashers, and like I forgot how good Wedding Crashers was, but it's not on the level of 40-Year-Old Virgin. I think 40-Year-Old Virgin's on a whole different level. So I'm going to go with that as my favorite of the 2000s, with Anchorman probably right there. It's right there.
Yeah, those are really good. Another one that I really like from the 2000s that I can watch over and over again. I can't necessarily watch the 2 sequels all the time.
Okay.
But Hangover.
Yeah.
Hangover, like it was, you know, it felt unique, and yet you're kind of telling the same kind of comedy story with Vegas and everything. But
so the marketing ploy behind that, because I remember it like it was yesterday for that movie, because it looked like it was going to be a horror flick.
I know
they made it sound like the guy was like lost and he died, and like, oh my god, like this is going to be a scary movie. And like they had some, you know, comedic actors in it, but you're like, wow, this is going to be crazy. And then just everything that happens in that movie is pure hilarious.
It is.
And you know what? That might be it too. That the first Hangover. Wow. Good call.
Yeah. And I was kind of like Peter was. I was kind of looking at list of some of the comedy movies from 2000, because I got to remind myself. I've seen these and I know what the movies are about.
20 years. So
so like
that's exactly.
You know,
and Superbad's up there too. I meant to say that as well.
Yeah, Superbad's up there. I mean, Hangover's so funny.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I saw Napoleon Dynamite on that list too. Like, you know, it was
a good one.
That was a unique one. Uncle Rico. I laugh every single time, you know, when they get into the election speech, you know, vote for Pedro. Pedro speaks, he's sweating, and then just Napoleon Dynamite just comes out with the I'm thinking about for my wedding, like
are you gonna bust that out?
I don't know, man. Maybe
that would be a good one.
That's possibly in the works, so like busting that out, like, because I don't know why, I don't know how it came up, but like somehow she like came across the song that you know, my fiance Jana, the doctor of the show, of course, we got our nurse Kelly and our Dr. Jana, of course. She somehow came across the song, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't seen that movie in a little while.
Yeah,
we got to put on YouTube, we got to put the scene of him dancing up there. And as soon as it started, like I started laughing, but it's like, this is also like a really, you know, cool scene. But
yeah,
I mean, for me, it's probably Hangover, honestly, but you can't go wrong with any of the choices.
Honestly, those are some solid choices.
They really are. I mean, I was going to throw in too, going back to Edgar Wright. I really love Scott Pilgrim. That's a good one. It's, you know, I actually, one of these days I'll buy myself the graphic novels, because I heard that there's just so much more to it. But I thought the movie I'm watching and I'm like, this is just really freaking clever. And it was funny. I just really enjoyed it.
So that's a good one. You also brought up one at the very beginning. I'm going to bring up 2 here for us.
Okay.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh yes.
Tropic Thunder is very underrated. It's gotten better over time.
I'm just a dude.
I'm just a dude.
Played another dude.
Just playing another dude. It's a good movie. And then I'm looking up Rolling Stone's top 50 movies here for us. And in number 3 here for it, very underrated, doesn't get enough love, Bridesmaids.
That is a good
Bridesmaids.
I've never seen it.
Peter, you would love it.
I've seen
You would love it.
Yeah.
All right.
It is, and like they make it up as like the most raunchy girl movie of all time. Honestly, it's just a fantastic straight up comedy all the way through.
Yeah.
And just the people that get played in that, every single one of those people. You have a friend that acts just like that. You have one that acts just like that. And like, especially, and like I've talked with this about Kelly as well, like all of her girlfriends, that person.
Yeah.
Like,
don't name names here.
No names, please. No names,
know,
please.
We follow that here as well. But
no doubt.
I mean, like that's some of the best SNL cast members.
Yes.
With comedy being built in, you got Melissa McCarthy in there that.
And you know what? I'm not a huge Melissa McCarthy fan, but in that movie, amazing.
Speaking of which, because she's in comedies on CBS, the fact that you brought up How I Met Your Mother is terrible.
I'm sorry.
That's a conversation for another day though, because we are running
late,
way
but
over. But I almost forgot the other bone I wanted to pick with you. How I Met Your Mother. I love that series. I will agree though, the way they ended it was
terrible.
It just
it left a bitter taste in my mouth. I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch it again, just not the last season.
Yeah, good series, not a good ending. And
Agreed.
you guys kind of mentioned it, kind of teased it. Maybe the next show that we're all together, because you're going to San Diego. We'll be here next week, and then we got a best of coming up on July 4th, and we'll be back together after that. Maybe that first week we're all back together. Worst ending to a TV series or maybe like a movie franchise.
Already got mine.
What, Game of Thrones?
Whoa.
Save it for a few weeks from now.
We'll save it.
It's a tease for a reason, but
only 7 seasons.
But that is going to wrap it up for this special Father's Day edition of The Voice of Land here on the Big Play Network. For my brother Nick Paulus and for our producer extraordinaire, happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day, Peter.
And to all the fathers out there. Peter Tellep, I'm Kevin Arnold, reminding all of you out there, please send us your favorite memories from the Cavs championship as we continue to celebrate the 5-year anniversary. And like I always say, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. And we truly love you all. 3,000. We will see you all next week here on the Big Play Network.